Yo guys, new video for you today. Today I really want to talk about a conversation that I think we should be having. We should be having this conversation now early so that Blizzard can hear us and hear our thoughts and opinions on what we want for Wrath Classic in terms of when we get Nax or T7 release. Basically, there's this article here that I was shared that says that we will get 1 week after Northrend opens to level before the raids unlock. I tried to confirm this information, but I couldn't confirm it anywhere. So whether or not it's true is kind of irrelevant because I think at the end of the day, we need to talk about like, do we want 1 week where we get a chance to level to 80, to run some heroics and, hang out, enjoy everything, and then do the raid? Do we want that? And so I'm just going to provide some context for us here, and then I want to hear your opinions in the comments below. But let me set you up as best as I possibly can. Because typically, what happens on a private server scene is something similar to this. On private servers, we get the launch. Everyone starts at level 1, and you get 2 weeks of leveling from 1 to 80, running all your heroics, doing your professions, getting your pre-raid best gear, getting your guild set up, doing a few runs of Sunwell, all these things. This is pretty typical. We get 2 weeks until the raids come out, and then we have a big race for Realm First in Tier 7. Now, also typically keep in mind that the Tier 7 race is usually just Naxxramas that people care about. In terms of for OS 3D, people don't tend to really care about it. It's kind of a, forgotten Realm First achievement. If you get OS 3D, it basically just means that you chose to pass on competing for a Nax, which is kind of sad. It just depends on what server you're playing on. If it's like extra custom buffed, like we've seen in the past sometimes, it just kind of depends. But essentially, Nax is really the only one that matters. And you can't get EOE without doing Nax because you have to kill Saffron. Now, the only time that actually matters is if there are two guilds, for example, that are competing in Nax, and it's super, super tight, and one of them kills Saffron before the other. Whoever kills Saffron first is likely going to go kill KT, claim the realm first, and then they're going to make their way to EOE. So if you know that you're already in second place, a lot of guilds will just opt to hearthing out and going to claim the EOE realm first. That's just kind of the cheeky way that we do realm first on private servers, just to set you up. Now, historically with Classic, it's a little bit different. Classic, we've always done what it was like historically, which is the raids were out as soon as the expansion came out. As soon as a Classic was out, we started at level 1, we went all the way to 60 and raced to see who would get the first Molten Core clear. And it was Apes who did that. I think it took them 6 days to clear all of Molten Core and kill Ragnaros. It took them 6 full days. And then for TBC, we had T4. All of it was out as soon as TBC was out. And it took Progress, I want to say 24 hours exactly to get all the way to, 68, 70. Some of them weren't max level. And they cleared all of Gruul, Mag, and Kara before anyone else, which is pretty impressive. And that stuff's really cool. It's kind of its own unique thing, like this leveling race. And this was how it was in Wrath, too, back in the day. I mean, Wrath came out and Tier 7 was already out. It took 3 days for Insidia to clear Nax and EOE, and then OS 3D wasn't cleared until 9 days after release by Insidia. And that's likely because they were opting to go for OS 2D, because 3D was probably a little challenging at the time. So 9 days before that boss died is pretty awesome. All this to say, is this what we want? Because when I first started recording this video, or first started scripting this video and preparing it, I thought that I was on one side of the fence. And now I am like fully in the middle. I could go either way completely. So I want to provide both sides of the argument to you and see, what do you guys think? What do you want? So first off, this leveling race, should we keep it? If we keep it the way that we have with Classic, where raids are out as soon as they come out, which, by the way, this is just the phase structure. Let me just pull this up here. If we keep it the way that it is, that means raids are going to be out as soon as Wrath comes out. There's probably a 90% chance that Progress just straight up wins and claims all of the world firsts again with Nax, OS, and EOE. Those guys just over prepare like crazy. They are super well organized, and they will likely just get a free world first if they just put in the work and the effort of preparing how to level as fast as they possibly can, which I think that they definitely can do. And that's not to say that other guilds won't be trying or competing against them. I just think that's going to be the most likely situation to happen. So there's probably a good chance that Progress just wins. The general player base might just feel rushed or have some FOMO. If you have Wrath that comes out, and maybe you're just unlucky. Maybe you have to work. Maybe you're on vacation. Maybe like something comes up and you miss like the first few days of launch, and you miss your guild clearing Naxxramas for the first time, and you have to pug it the first week. You know, that's gonna feel pretty crappy. It's gonna feel pretty bad for most of the player base if they're feeling rushed, like they have to get in there and they have to no life everything they possibly can because they have to hit 80 within the first, few days before the raid resets. That could be rough. Also, if we have the race where we have 1 week, then there will be a lot more guilds competing. That's good. That's a good or bad thing. The accessibility of Naxxramas being possible for countless guilds to compete is pretty awesome because Naxxramas is a really, really easy raid. It's really easy. It'll be interesting to see the world first race if it goes this way where we have 1 week to prepare, because what's going to end up happening is all of these guilds will rush into Naxx and a bunch of them will clear it in sub 1 hour, and it's just going to be the minor details that make the biggest difference in who's going to get the world first Naxx clear, which I think will be really fun if that's the case. And also what that ends up doing is it makes the race really short. I mean, the race could be over in a matter of 45 minutes. It kind of like how it was with Sunwell. But Naxxramas is really easy, whereas Sunwell is really hard. The only problem is like Naxx just takes a while. There's just a lot of trash. There's just a lot of bosses. And do we want an event that is only 45 minutes long? Or do we want an event that's say 24 hours long, like it was for TBC, where we have 24 hours where we're watching all these streamers and all these competitors who are leveling and they're going crazy and they're doing dungeon spams, or they have like really good questing routes, and that could be fun. A full 24-hour thing that might be a real spectacle to watch or a real spectacle to compete in. And the other side is maybe we release it true to history. We just release it straight up how it was, and we say that Progress is just going to have the advantage, and they're just going to go ahead and like probably just out level everyone, and we do it the way that history tells us to do. Well, it's tier 7. At the end of the day, it's boring. It's easy. No one cares about Naxxramas. It's going to be easy. Even if it's pre-nerf Naxx, it's going to be super easy. Most people are going to hit 80 before the raid IDs reset anyway, and at worst, you miss 1 raid ID. It's not a big deal. If you have FOMO, just relax. It's Naxx. It will be fine. Trust me, there will be plenty of time for you to get all 4 of your alts leveled up to 80 and all of them geared for Ulduar. Don't worry. It also makes getting gear in Sunwell that much more important, which means everything that we're doing right now means something. The more gear that we have now is better preparing you for the questing experience and for dungeon spamming, and it's increasing your character power level now, which matters. It won't be replaced quite so easily come Wrath release. That's also something to keep in mind. It's also just a genuinely unique way to race. I think this is kind of like the biggest point that has really won me over, is that there's no other race for World First like this. When you have a release that is genuinely like raids are out, go level, first one to get in and clear it wins, there's no other race like that. That's just so genuine, unique to Classic, that it's kind of fun. It's special. There's no other way that we can do this. And if you want to try to like, artificially capture that that experience, you can't. It's the only way. This is the only uniquely fun leveling race where you have 25 to 30 people just going crazy to get to max level so that they can clear first. It's cool, it's unique, it's different. It's not quite, run in there and just clear the raid as fast as you can like we've had in the past with all the other tiers. It's unique, and I think that's special. It's something to consider for sure. And plus, there will be speed running after the first week, because that's all that it is anyway. If we get 1 week to prepare for the next release, It's just going to be a speed run. It's just going to be a bunch of speedrunners speedrunning. That's all that it will be. And we will have many, many weeks to speedrun Naxx after the first week if we get that opportunity to just do it. So those are kind of all the points I could make on this. Again, I could go absolutely either way. I want to hear from you guys, like, truthfully. Tell me in the comments what you think. I want to see, like, what is getting the most upvotes. What should Blizzard be listening to? Because we have plenty of time to voice our opinions. If you guys want 1 week to prepare for the Naxx release, to, you know, if that's going to relieve stress for you, tell me. I want to know. And if you think that it's genuinely unique to have the leveling race, like, tell me. I want to know. I think we need to be voicing our opinions and talking about this, because I don't think very many people are talking about this, when this could be a possibility for us come Wrath Classic. So that's it for this video. I'm going to try to wrap it up there. Thanks so much for listening. Again, please like and subscribe. I never say that. I don't even know why I said that, but just subscribe. It does help me out a lot. It really, really does. And please comment down below. Let's have this conversation. Let's do it now. We have plenty of time to hash it out and tell Blizzard what we want. All right, guys. Peace out.